Hey guys, what's up? This is Hex, and I know I normally do a video every Tuesday, but I found out some news a couple of days ago that I was pretty excited about and wanted to share with you guys in case you didn't know. ZeniMax just announced a new chapter in the Elder Scrolls Online series on the uh, on the Bethesda Twitch stream, and it's going to be for the for Elsweyr. And I was kind of surprised when they announced this because before they had given some hints. It had like a symbol of a dragon. It said Season of the Dragon. And me, along with quite a few people, were like, oh, this must mean that they're going to finally start to fill out Skyrim more because there's not too much of Skyrim uh, that you can explore that's in Elder Scrolls Online because all they have is like the top part of Craglorn and I think the Rift and Eastmarch, and that's pretty much it. So when we started to see stuff about dragons, it was like, oh, they might be talking about Dragonborn, and all this other stuff. So they must be, trying to fill out Skyrim even more. So imagine our surprise when we saw that they were announcing Elsweyr. Now, Elsweyr, in case you don't know what it is that's where the Khajiit are from, and apparently this was something that like a lot of players have been asking about, and of course ZeniMax listened, and here we here's what we have. Um, Now, if you haven't seen the trailer, I'm gonna post it in the description box below. But it was actually a pretty cool trailer, and it actually has dragons in it, which was pretty freaking awesome. Because as soon as you saw the dragons running around, like everybody in chat was like going, "Yes, dragons!" And and they talk and they do talk a little bit about the dragons. They didn't go too far into it because they didn't want to spoil it for everybody, and they were going to announce more, I think, on E3. But one of the things that they did bring up is that an old character from the original story, Tharn, is going to be coming back along with Sir Cadwell, which is another character from the original story. And they also talked about the Necromancer character that's coming out, which had been heavily requested for, oh, Lord, I don't know, years maybe. I'm at the, because every time they did a stream, you always saw people going, Necromancer, we want Necromancer. So once again, ZeniMax listing. So you guys are going to be getting a Necromancer. They didn't go too far into what what the class is going to have, but they did mention that one of the ultimates for the tank version of the Necromancer was that you could become a Bone Colossus, and that thing looked pretty cool. It actually kind of differed from what the normal Bone Colossus that you actually seen, and this one looked pretty damn awesome, I'll admit. Now they also mentioned that you're going to be getting a free character slot, and I think they were going to adjust the overall character slots to try to have like a set number, but they wasn't for sure exactly uh, what it was going to be yet. There will be no champion point increases, they said at that time. And I think the way they were talking, like they're that the champion points, which may seem like a good idea at first, it seemed like it was becoming a bit of an issue, and they were going to see if they were going to either keep it or try to maybe go with something else. They weren't really for sure, but in the meantime, it would give some of the beginner players, a chance to catch up with everybody else. Um, and there's also going to be uh, some modifications for the guild traders. That way, you'll be able to search for items better. I think it was like a text search you could actually do, and I think they were going to modify how you see quests on the map. Now, usually in the past, when they've did like DLCs for like story, the chapter, and then the dungeon DLC. Um, a lot of times they're not related, and in the case of Elsweyr, it's going to be related all year. So you're going to have like two dungeons that I think are coming out in March. I don't know exactly when, and I don't recall them ever saying what the date was specifically, but it is in March, and it's called Wrathstone. And then it's going to go into the chapter, which is they're going to be the big story, um, which is the Elsweyr, and that's going to be on June the 4th, and I think that's going to run you about $40. They did have two other options that you could do, and I can't really remember right offhand the prices, but it was just basically stuff where you could get like summer set included, just stuff like that. As for the previous DLC that has the two dungeons, I'm not really entirely sure, but I can't picture it being any more than 15 or 20 because that's the way the rest of them were. But once you get past the Elsweyr chapter, which is on June the 4th, then the third quarter, they're gonna do another, uh, I believe, dungeon set with two dungeons, and I don't know when those are going to come out. They never did say. And then after that is going to be, the fourth quarter is going to be the story DLC, and they didn't really mention, I think, a date on that either. Still kind of early out. I was trying to think if there was anything else that they might have mentioned. I can't think of anything else at the top of my head. But from what they said in the stream, this is really going to be, super, just amazing, and I could hardly wait. And I have a funny feeling that this is also going to draw in quite a few more players like Somerset did. And don't get me wrong, the other DLC like Vardenfell, or excuse me, Morrowind, and such were brought in new players, but it seemed like Somerset, where they pushed the boundaries even more on what they were wanting to do. It just seemed to draw in more and more players, and I have a sneaking suspicion that Elsewhere is going to do exactly the same thing. But that's all I wanted to talk to you guys for today. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and please subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I hope to talk to you guys real soon. Take care.